They say a good pair of boots can last a lifetime, but only if you actually take care of them. Today, we are making custom conditioner from scratch. The setup: a double boiler. We're using indirect heat to melt the beeswax. You don't have to make the ball float like a raft, but it works. The first ingredient: pure yellow beeswax. This provides the structure and the essential water resistance your leather needs. Next, we have cold pressed castor oil. It's a deep penetrator, and unlike coconut oil, it does not rot. The research led me to a 2:1:2 ratio. We're using 120 ml of castor oil, 50 grams of yellow beeswax, and 100 grams of shea butter. This creates a soft, deep penetrating balm rather than a hard surface only wax. Step 1: pour in the castor oil, and you don't have to do it off focus. I bought a 120 ml bottle, so I'm using a little more oil than the wax. It will make the conditioner more supple. Now drop in 50 grams of beeswax. Since I bought a 100-gram box, I'm using only half of it. Now you could drop the whole 100 grams box in if you wanted a heavy-duty waterproofing wax, but that's a trade-off. The more beeswax you add, the harder and thicker the final product becomes. If it's too stiff, it's a nightmare to buff into the leather, and it won't penetrate deep enough to actually nourish the fibers. By sticking to 50 grams, we're getting the essential water resistance shield while keeping the balm creamy enough to actually work with it. Finally, dump in the full 100 grams of shea butter. Once this melts into a golden liquid, we are done. This 2:1:2 mix is a perfect recovery formula suggested to me by AI. Once everything is fully melted and clear, we are done with the heat. Now we just need to let the liquid sit and cool down until it hardens into a creamy balm. After letting our DIY conditioner sit, it's reached this perfect waxy consistency. It's solid but melts right into the skin, which means it will do the same for the leather. I want it to be scientific here because leather is naturally acidic. It usually sits around a pH of 5. If you use a high pH, harsh soap, it can actually burn the fibers, making your boot brittle and prone to cracking. Now my meter was clearly accurate. It reads 11 for plain water, which should be around 7.5. But here's the weird part. When I add the Chandrika soap, the reading actually drops to 9.7. Usually soap makes water more alkaline, so I was confused. I asked Gemini what was going on, and it turned out that the herbal oils in the Ayurvedic soap actually acted as a buffer, neutralizing the water and pulling the high pH down. If you assume my water was actually at 7.5, this puts the soapy mixture at around 6.2, which is incredibly close to the leather's natural state. It was a win I wasn't expecting, so I took it and kept moving. These boots have seen better days. They smell a bit funky and they are oversaturated with old coconut oil. First step is take the laces out and give a dry wipe to the boots to remove the surface dirt. Using my soapy mix, I'm working in small sections with circular motion. The key here is speed. Scrub for a few seconds, then wipe immediately. You don't want the leather to soak up too much of this soapy water. wait, because our conditioner is wax based. We have to let the boots dry up for a full 24 hours. If we apply wax now, we risk sealing the moisture inside the leather, which is a recipe for disaster. Now, the boots have dried up. I have noticed some oxidation on the brass eyelets. A simple toothpick is perfect for scraping the gum away without scratching the leather. After leaving it to dry for 24 hours, I noticed these minute surface cracks that weren't there before. Comparing them to my brand new boots, it's clear what happened. The combination of the soapy water and the long drying time stripped the natural oils a bit too effectively. Even 2 months later, after heavy conditioning and heat, those surface cracks are still visible. It's a permanent change to the grain. If I were doing this again, I would probably choose a saddle soap. Now, time for the magic. But this is where I ran into a bit of a struggle. Gemini suggested that one pea-sized amount of conditioner should be enough for an entire boot. But my DIY blend turned out to be incredibly thick. I started applying it with a tissue, but immediately it began shredding and leaving paper bits all over the leather. I decided to just power through it, thinking I'd just wipe the mess away later once the boots soaked up the oil. Because the wax was so dense, it wouldn't spread very far, so I ended up using a pea-sized drop for each section. So I ended up putting 5 pea-sized conditioner per boot. I definitely over-conditioned them, but for boots this dry, I figured they could handle the extra hydration. So, was the deep soap and the heavy wax worth it? Honestly, it was a roller coaster. My pH meter lied to me. I accidentally melted some of the stitches. And those minute surface cracks from the drying process are still there 2 months later. They're a permanent part of the boot now. But the funky smell is gone. The leather is actually protected and they have a rich uniform look that my old coconut oil method never could have achieved. They're tougher, they're waterproof or a little water resistance, and more importantly, I learned exactly where the limits are for the next pair. If you're trying this at home, use the soap and the heater very carefully. Use them sparingly, but don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. I'll see you next time.